Hello, Porter family, and Merry Christmas. I'm here with Puppy Steps Training. My name is Brad Phillips. We're going to be doing Stella's demonstration for you. And we're just going to jump right into it right off the bat. And so I do this demonstration for those that are first-time dog owners to those that have had dogs all their lives. So some of it's going to be very simple and that you may already know, and I'm going to put it in as plain of a sense as I can. Our program is broken down into 5 areas. The first is socialization. So for the first 2 weeks that we had Stella, she went with a family here in Clarkson and was socialized with different places, different people, animals and sounds, and just a whole just an array of different environments and different situations. We do this to help us protect against a timid or anxious dog. We don't want them to have anxiety, anything like that. And we also stretch the socialization throughout our program from day one up until the day that they leave, just giving them different situations, and especially noises. Because the first couple weeks that we have them, basically the 6 weeks to 12 weeks, is kind of a critical time for puppies to distinguish what they're going to be afraid of and what they're not. So yeah, the second part of our program is our manners, and which we'll cover first. The third is our obedience commands. Fourth is our house training, and fifth is our leash training. And our house training and leash training take up bulk of the time, just because it's a lot of hours, a lot of repetitions, making sure that they're going to be able to perform for you. So we're going to hop right in with our manners. And right off the bat is our gates and doorways. Anytime she goes through the crate or through our home door, we expect her to stay. And we shouldn't have to tell her, but if she ever does try and break, we can just do a simple reminder. We're going to bring her out of the crate. Okay. Now, okay is our release word for any type of a stay, as well as it's our marker. So just marking the correct behavior. And in a minute, I'll show you at this door. When we do our house training, I'll show you that she'll stay for our door here in the barn. But next on our manners is her greeting. So anytime she approaches me or approaches you, I expect her to sit for a greeting. And she does that before I give her any attention. Come here. Come on. Okay, good girl. Good girl. Now, Stella is a very sweet puppy, and she doesn't have really any problems with jumping, and we've worked on that, making sure that she's not going to put her paws on you. And she's also just very mellow. She likes to be with you and just kind of hang out. But always expect that greeting, and that way it is going to do a couple things for you. One, it's going to get her planted, so she's not going to be wrapping you up with a leash. She's also not going to be jumping on you. The other thing is you're going to have her eye contact. And for dogs, they have a single track mind, so they can't multitask like us. They can't be thinking of one thing and doing another. So if you have a puppy's attention or a dog's attention, or their eye contact, you have 100% of their attention. Next on our manners would be her mealtime manners. Anytime I feed her, I expect her to stay in a sitting position. This way she won't knock the food bowl out of your hand or try and jump up on you, anything like that. So we'll go ahead and give her some food. I'll put her in a sit and tell her to stay. And we can add a little bit of distraction. Okay. Her mealtime is just a great time to increase her stays. So add what we call the 3 Ds, and that's distance, duration, and distraction. Now before she finishes eating, I didn't give her very much. But another thing we do with her mealtime is I spend time putting my hands in her bowl, making sure that she's not going to be aggressive towards me. Because some people, you know, you think you have this well-trained dog or the sweetest dog, it won't hurt a fly. And then people are surprised when a toddler or a child goes up and sticks their hands in the food bowl and they get nipped at or growled at. And so we want to prevent any type of that. So she doesn't mind. We put our hands in her mouth and around her nose, and she'll just keep eating. She's not going to get aggressive towards us. And we don't want any type of aggression. So we also, just at random times, we spend time playing with her ears and her paws and her tail. Just different parts of the puppy's body that they might get aggressive towards when you touch. The other thing this helps out for is if you need to clip their nails. Some dogs get very anxious, but she doesn't mind if you hold her paws. So that's kind of a nice thing as well. The other thing, we don't want her to ever be aggressive towards chew toys or just chews like this bully stick that I have. I want her to be alright with me taking it from her or asking her to release it and not being aggressive. Now, sometimes people mistake aggression in dogs towards children, and that's just because, well, children are the perfect height and size. They run, they squeal, everything's really fun, and so the dogs like to chase them, and they're very oral, so they end up grabbing pant legs or arms, and we don't want that. So the best way to prevent against that is when children play with your puppy, have them play with a toy or a rope, something that the dog can grab onto. And that'll help you out. Other of her manners that we've taught, we've worked a lot with chewing. Now she'll be teething for the first year of her life, and so she just has the need to chew. And so we train on the base of avoiding and replacing. If you can avoid giving her free access to shoes or things like that that she would want to chew on, that's just the best case scenario. Now, that's not really plausible in your home. You're always going to have a couch or a table, something that she has access to. And so that we train on the base of replacing. If she starts to chew on your couch or your bed, something soft, I'll replace it with something soft. Now if she starts chewing on like a table leg or something hard, I'll replace it with something hard, like this bully stick, which I'm going to give to her. There you go, sweetheart. And that's going to help her distinguish what's hers and what's yours, and it'll save you a lot of problems with chewing if you can replace those and correct her as soon as you see her start to try and chew on something. The other thing that's going to help out with that is not letting her get too bored. That's one of the main causes of any trouble with a puppy, is they get bored, and so they wander and they try and find something to do. So if you do have like a leisurely time, you can give her something to chew on. And you'll notice when I gave her that, she went right over to her bed. And that's exactly what we want. Anytime we give her a toy or a chew, we send them to their bed. And so she's very satisfied with that. That's where she'll go immediately. Other manners that she has, one is being aware of her teeth. Now, like I said, she's a very gentle and sweet dog, but we've tried to rile her up and get her to try and lunge for treats and that type of thing so we can teach her to be aware of her teeth. And that's where we've instilled the command gently. So anytime she lunges for a treat or gets a little bit excited and isn't being aware of her teeth, I'll just pull it away and say gently. And I expect her to take the treat with her lips and her mouth. And what she is, like I said, she's very, very gentle. And lastly in our manners is drop it. Now drop it also takes part in one of our commands because we want her to be well-mannered and release when we need her to, as well as it is just a commanding thing like when you're playing fetch. So I'll show you that right now with this. I expect her to physically release it. Drop. Drop it. Good girl. And so, like these, they're very protective over. and so it takes them a little bit more time to loosen that grip. But never just yank it out. Make her release her grip so that you can just gently take it out. Now, if she does have something that she really, really likes, and she doesn't want to give up right off the bat, give her a little time to think, and if she still won't give it up, take it really firmly and hold it really still so it's no longer fun for her to chew on, and she'll just give it up. So yeah, that covers our manners portion. Alright, well now we're going to continue in with her commands. Now before we show you all of them, we have 9 big ones that we focus on in this section. And that's drop it, which I showed you in the manners, but we'll go over that again. Also we have watch me, come, sit, sit stay, down, down stay, crate, and go to bed. Now along with those 9, we also have our marker word, which I discussed in the beginning, was okay, as well as we have our correction term. And so if she jumps up or does anything like that, our correction term is no or nope. And we treat that as a misdemeanor felony. So if she breaks a stay, something that's not that serious, but she did it wrong, I'll say no, and I'll take her back and make her do it again. Now if she does something that she knows she's not supposed to, a little more serious, like jumping up on me or on the table or trying to take food out of my hand, it has to be more of a firmer correction and being really firm in your voice as well as the way that you present yourself. Because a dog, they read you by your voice fluctuation and your body language. And so if you're in a position to reward or correct, it makes a lot of difference. Now, going back to just kind of no in general, and say she breaks a stay, the key thing is to always leave with the correct behavior. So take her back, let her do it again, maybe shorten it or add a little bit less distraction, and let her get the correct behavior. And that's with everything. Just never let her get away with an incorrect behavior. So now with our commands, we have 3 hand signals, and that's for sit, down, and stay. Sit is just kind of a scoop over the nose like that. If it helps you remember, that's the way we taught her to sit. We take her food bowl and lure her nose up till her hind end went down, and then we'd mark it. Her down is I'll take a treat in my hand, and I'll just take her down to the floor like that. And for both of those, we've attached a stay, and stay is just a stop sign. And now when we do those stays, if she's in a sit stay and she lays down, that's fine. But if she's in a down stay and tries to come up, that's not okay, and I'll do it over again. And I'll show you these in just a second. The other thing to point out is, like with crate and go to bed, it's not necessarily a hand signal, but I'll position myself in a way that she can read me. So I'll get close to either the bed or the crate, and then I'll point to it. Just so if she does get kind of locked up or needs to think about it, the way that I'm standing kind of hints towards what we're doing. So now we're going to show you those, and drop it I already showed you, but I'll show you again because I'm going to take this bully stick from her. But just always expect that release. Drop it. Good girl. See, and that's perfect, just letting it go. It's exactly what we want. Now, our 2 most elementary commands are come and watch me. Those we teach from day 1. Now, watch me is all I want is her eye contact. And so, if you'll just kind of watch her head, watch me. Okay, good girl. Just turning and looking at me. And that's one I would practice multiple times a day, just for no reason other than a treat. Because that can become a life-saving command. If she's running out into traffic, something like that, you just need to get her attention. And you've practiced that, you can expect her to turn around and look at you. Or even simply, if you're cooking in the kitchen and you drop a steak on the floor and you don't want her to get it, you can tell her and expect her to look at you. Watch me. Okay. See, just those eyes. Our next elementary command is come. Now, come is the one that everybody kills right off the bat. And that's because they call their dog to come when the dog's doing something that it likes or it's running around. And so quickly the dog will build a negative connotation to that. And so the way that we preserve the integrity of that command is we have a rule of 10 to 1. And that's just calling our dog to come for no other reason than just to reward it for every one time I have to call her to come. The other thing is if you don't have to call her, just hook a leash on and go. So she's over here in the corner right now, and we'll just do a quick little demonstration. Come! Now it's very simple, just expecting her to come over. And that's one, like I said, just practice and do it multiple times, just roll treats away and keep calling her to come. Because that is the one command you want to work when you need it. Oh, sweetheart. So now we'll go into our hand signals. I'll show you the sit, which once again is a scoop over the nose. Sit. Perfect. Good girl. Okay. Very simple. And now with her down, I will always put her in a sit first. And then I'll just simply take her to the ground. Down. And I'll give her time to think. If she doesn't do it, we'll try it again until I sit. Down. All the way. There you go. Now, you saw that she hesitated. Now that is perfectly fine. Because a puppy, they have to kind of think things through. And today it's been very cold here. And so our wood floor has been very cold, and a lot of the puppies just haven't wanted to go down. And so you got to give them some time to follow through. Don't just keep doing it and get frustrated if she doesn't go the first time. Just give her time. The other thing is if she just won't go, you can always put her on a bed or a blanket and do it again. See? Down. And see, she just quickly went down. Sweetheart. Now, we'll spin her around and I'll show you the stay. Come here, come back on your bed. See? Stay. Very simple, just a stop sign. Okay, good girl. And so our stays, we just keep building up distractions, and like that we open the door. And two of the biggest distractions for a dog are one, to leave their sight, and two is to walk behind them. So practicing those and increasing the length and the distance is great. And she'll do the same thing in a down stay. Sit. Down. Stay. Okay, good girl. Yeah, that's a sweetheart. So the last two, actually before I go into those, the bed is a great place to do stays, especially if you're lengthening them, because it acts as a physical barrier that they can't cross. Easily, if you're persistent at doing a down stay and lengthening that on their bed, you can quickly, like within the first year, get a dog to be able to do a 1 to 2 hour stay on their bed. And the way that we've had people do that is if you have a downtime, like you're reading a book or watching a movie, you can put her on her bed with the leash attached and put her in a down stay, and then just start to increase the length. So right now she's probably good for a 30-second stay, and you can build that up to 45 seconds, then to a minute, and then to 5 minutes. And just keep lengthening that. And when you can tell that she's about to break, release her. If she does break, take her back, do it again, just shorten it. And when she's very smart, she does really great with her stays because she's not real anxious to hurry and run over to you. She's fine with just being relaxed on her bed. Yeah. And she's just so sweet. But now we'll cover our last two commands, and that's the crate and the bed. And so if I want her to go in the crate, come here, I'll get her up and just crate. I'll just tell her and point. And she'll go in, and then I expect her to stay. Okay. Good girl. Now if she ever hesitates towards the crate, I'll just tap on the top, something like that, just to remind her what she's doing. The other thing is just putting yourself in a position where she can read you. Okay. And the bed's the same thing. Go to bed. Oh, good girl. Now I don't care what position she's at, as long as all four paws are on the bed. Go to bed. Good girl. And then from there you can tell her to sit, stay, or anything like that. So yeah, and that's our command. So alright, so we're going to cover the house training now. And this is the one portion of the training that requires the most on your part to transfer it over successfully. And so here she knows where the bell is. She knows to ring it to go to the bathroom. She also knows where her spot in the yard is. Now she's going to have to relearn that at your house. And so I've went and I've done these demonstrations for people at their homes. And I found the best way to transfer over the bell and her house training. And so the way to do that is right when you get her home, she's going to have to go to the bathroom. It was kind of a long drive. So take her out to the spot which you have designated for her to eliminate and allow her to go to the bathroom. Now when she does, reward her very heavily. Say, good outside, good girl, and give her a nice rub down and treats and just make it a very positive experience. At that point, bring her into the house and pull out your bell and take her to the door which you are going to use. Make sure you're using the same door every time she has to go to the bathroom. Now I'll take the bell that I'm going to send you with and put some peanut butter or bacon grease on it and then hang it on that door. Immediately she's going to seek out that smell. And so as soon as she touches it, mark it. Say, you want to go outside? Let's go outside. And just take her, really emphasizing the word outside, because that's kind of our trigger word for her to go to the bathroom. Now, of course, she's going to be touching the bell because she found something nice and delicious on the bell. And so you're going to take her out. I'll walk around for 30 seconds to a minute or so, right around there, and then come right back in. And she's going to touch the bell immediately. So you're going to take her right back out. Mark it, say, let's go outside. Come on, let's go outside. And you take her out, pace around for a minute or so, and then go back in. And she'll turn around and hit the bell one more time. I generally let her do this for about 10 times. Now hopefully in that 10 times she's starting to think, and she's also been kind of smelling that area where she's already went once. And hopefully she'll have squatted by then. And you're just going to make it very positive, very rewarding. Tell her good outside, give her a good pet and some treats, and then come back in. Now after I've done this about 10 times, I'll take the bell and I'll wash it and get it real clean so there's no more of whatever you put on there. And I'll hang it back up. And immediately she's going to ring the bell again because she's looking for whatever was on it. And you'll take her out and do the same thing. And I'll do this about 5 more times. And hopefully within that 15 times she's went once, and you can really mark it and reward her. And after about that many times she's going to get bored and she'll kind of lose interest in the bell for a few minutes. At that point I set a 30-minute timer and I take her out every 30 minutes. And when I do that, I walk her up and I'll hang the bell in front of her and let her ring it. Never kind of bounce it off her nose, otherwise she just won't want to ring it at that point. So let her ring it, tell her let's go outside, and go out. And so I do that for a couple hours at 30-minute increments, and then you can build it up to 45 minutes to an hour. And she's at a standard at 2 hours. We feel comfortable that she'll be good inside for 2 hours without needing a break. The other thing is with her house training, if she rings the bell and you take her out to go to the bathroom, never let her play out there. If you do, she'll start ringing the bell every 2 minutes because she wants to go outside and play. And if you have any problems with that or need help transferring that over, please give me a call. The other thing that's going to help you out with her house training is, one, for the next month I would let her drag a short leash around. That way if you need to grab her, you can quickly grab her and go out, or you can give her leash corrections. The other thing is, if she's inside and she's not in her crate, she is under 100% supervision. This is going to protect from her going and finding a corner and peeing or trying to chew something up. And lastly is watch her. Say she's laying down on her bed. If she gets up and starts to sniff around and she just keeps sniffing, that's a key or a hint that she needs to go to the bathroom. So at that point I would take her to the bell, let her ring it, and go outside. Along with her house training, we've also crate trained her. So she is comfortable in a crate for 8 to 10 hours at night without needing a break. She is also comfortable in the crate for 3 to 4 hours during the day without needing a break. Now with that said, the stress of the transition sometimes can cause a dog to have a loose stool. So in the first couple nights you have her home, if she starts to whine at night in the crate, she might just need to go to the bathroom. So let her out, go to the bathroom, and then bring her right back in the crate. The other thing with the crate is she is very, very comfortable with it. And so it's basically a place of seclusion for her. We ask her to respect our space, and so we respect hers. So I'll leave the door open so that if she ever does get overwhelmed or just needs a break, she can go in the crate and lay down. And I set a rule that if she goes in the crate by herself, she is off limits until she comes out. So now I'm going to show you how I do the bell. Like at that 30-minute increment, if it went off, this is what I would do to take her outside. Drop it. Good girl. Alright, let's go. So I would bring her over, and I'll have a treat handy, and I'll just bounce the bell. Okay, outside, and just let her hit it with her nose. Oh, good girl. Let's go. And I'll make her stay at the door. Now, she probably doesn't want to go out because it's kind of a blizzard. Okay. And then I'll pace around and tell her good outside to try and trigger that. Outside. Good outside. She might not have to go right now, so we'll go in and we'll cover her leash training now. Alright, well now we're going to cover the leash training portion. Now, we take them on 2 types of walks. One is a long leash or lead, or an off-leash walk. And these are just for her to be a dog, to run around, to sniff, to play, and just get out. Now when I do this, I call her to come to me every 1 or 2 minutes just to check in. The other type of walk is an attention walk, or as I call it, a business walk. It's getting from point A to point B, where I need her attention. Come here. I need her attention on me. And so I'll mark it and reward her every time she looks at me. That way it becomes basically a hill where she's next to me and keeping her attention up. Now we have 2 commands with our leash training. One is easy. So if she starts to pull, I say become a tree. So just plant yourself and do not let her pull through. Say easy and maybe give her a leash correction or 2. And with that command, she should turn around and look at you and put the slack back in the leash. Now you'll also be able to tell when she's pulling and when she's just kind of finding the end of the leash. Because that's going to happen. When she's out, she's sniffing around, she's going to kind of find the length, and you'll feel kind of a little tug, and then she'll stop. Now if she pulls, you'll know because it just keeps going. The second command is let's go, just signifying that we're going to move now. And so we're going to go outside, and I'm going to try and show you her attention walk. I don't know how well she's going to do it because we have this blizzard going on, and this is her first real snowstorm. So we'll see if she wants to listen, but this is going to be quite the distraction for her. Drop. Good girl. Alright, let's go. Okay. Okay. There we go. So just try and pay attention to her head and the way she looks and the way she walks. Let's go. So she did really well, especially for the weather. But we've really enjoyed Stella. She's a great puppy. I think you'll really enjoy her too. Let me know if you have any questions, and thank you very much.